Alright, so today's lesson is on social media.
Nice. You did this after I unfollowed you, right?
Yeah, and the whole entire lesson is just gonna be follow me back. All ten slides are just gonna say the same thing.
Okay. Let's see how it goes.
Alright, so let's jump in. So let's start with some discussion. What do you think of when you hear the term social media?
I think of specific services. I think of Instagram and Facebook, and basically that's it. Even though there are more social media platforms, it's I think about an online platform where people can interact,
Like, interact in what way?
like talk about themselves, communicate with others, comment on what other people are doing.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure what exactly the definition is.
Well, don't worry, we're gonna learn more about it later.
Okay.
Cool. Go ahead and read the next question.
Okay. Do you use social media? Why or why don't you use it? I use it. I use Instagram. I use Instagram mostly for posting stories and sometimes for posting normal posts. I use it because I want people to be able to relate to me, and I also want to find out what other people are doing sometimes. So I go on their profiles and I check them out.
You stalk them?
Stalk them, yeah, exactly. And I feel bad about using it when it's late and I'm tired and I can't control myself and I keep scrolling through irrelevant stuff like I don't know, brownie recipes or stuff like that.
Yeah, last night I was watching a video on the top vegan meals or something.
Uh huh.
I'm not even
That's
vegan.
right. I also watch vegan recipes videos and I never do them. I just watch them.
Yeah. You know what I noticed though after watching that video? It's because I don't have any of the ingredients, and those ingredients can be hard to find around here.
What were the ingredients?
Mostly seasonings, like
Oh,
Indian seasonings and stuff. I'm like, oh, where do I buy that stuff?
I had a tofu meal today and it was horrible. I hate tofu. It's so salty. I mean, I don't hate tofu in general. Some types of tofu because it's just salty and that's it.
Yeah, you have to flavor it with a lot of stuff. That's the problem with vegan food.
Hmm.
Yeah, so you're saying that you were scrolling through like Instagram and stuff. That's probably how you
I'm
shouldn't.
wasting time.
Yeah, that's probably how you shouldn't use it, but how should you use it?
You should use it. You can use it as a creator. For example, when you're a business, you can use it to connect to your audience, to write posts that engage your audience, that make them relate to you, and that make them follow you more and be more attached to what you're doing in general. And as a normal person, you can connect with people whom you normally don't meet in real life. For example, if you have friends that are living far away, I have some friends in Hong Kong and US, so I don't get to meet them in real life very often.
Yeah, you kind of just talk to them online.
Yeah,
You stay
and
connected
just
with them
talk.
online. Yeah.
I mean, you get if you stalk them, then you see how they're doing, and then you can text them saying, "Hey, I don't notice you were like doing something."
Yeah, did you ever have like meet up with a friend that you haven't seen in a long time, and then the first thing they say is, "Oh my God, I saw you did that one thing because you posted online."
I think so. Yeah, I think multiple times.
And how does that like when it happens to me, it makes me feel kind of weird. How does it make you like feel like oh, you're stalking me? But then again, I put it there, you know?
No, I don't. I mean, I don't feel like it. Maybe the other person does. I just feel like we've been in touch all this time.
Makes sense. Cool. Questions on this side?
No.
Okay. So now we got some reading.
Okay.
Go ahead whenever you're ready.
So, social media are interactive computer mediated technologies that facilitate the creation and sharing of information, ideas, career interests, and other forms of expression via virtual communities and networks. Users usually access social media services via web based technologies on desktops and laptops, or download services that offer social media functionality to their mobile devices.
Yep, very good. And at the bottom there is a definition for facilitate.
Yeah. Facilitate, make an action or process easy or easier.
Yep. So it's there to facilitate the creation and sharing of information.
Yeah, it's just that you can also access web based. You can also open Facebook in your browser in your phone. So that's incomplete. But
Yeah, but why do people use the application rather than like the desktop or like the browser version?
it provides more functionality. For example, you can have notifications easier, and also the web version doesn't have all the feature of the app. But I'm not exactly sure which because I haven't used the Facebook app in a long time.
Yeah.
But I think you can't do a live video from the Facebook web version on the phone.
Yeah, but most people don't do that anyway, right? At least I
Yeah,
think so.
and also you can't text people. But there's a hack. You can open the desktop version from your phone, but it looks awful.
Yeah, you can use the desktop version for a lot of websites.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Questions on this side?
No.
All right then. So we have another reading. Whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Okay. As users engage with these electronic services, they create highly interactive platforms through which individuals, communities, and organizations can share, co create, discuss, participate, and modify user generated content or pre made content posted online.
Yep. So
Mhm.
they can create content and that sort of stuff. When they say content, what kind of content do you think they're talking about?
Well, I was thinking about the pre made content they're referring to, and maybe that's like the the pictures you can enhance with filters and frames and stuff,
Yeah.
masks. There are also text. I mean, generally either templates. I think they're referring to templates, but I don't know. You can also post text, like post your ideas in text version,
Yeah. So you could put images, text.
or video
What else can you put? I know you can also put like links and stuff like that.
links.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can put links. What kind of content is there? You can put some polls on
Yeah.
on Facebook.
You could put polls or like surveys, right?
Yeah. What
Cool.
what else? I mean, you can tag people, but that's a I don't know.
Yeah, you could
That's
tag
still
people.
text, kind of, but tag people, not only text.
And it says that there's also communities, platforms which individuals and communities and organizations can share. Like I know that on Facebook you can have like groups
Groups.
and
Yeah.
pages. Um, is that what do you think they're talking about when they're talking about like communities?
Well, I don't think in that context because it says individuals, communities, and organizations. So that share stuff. So I guess a community is represented by a specific entity on the on the platform, and so it might refer just to pages like the page of a mayorship
Okay.
or
Yeah, makes sense. Like a mayor might have a page to like post stuff on there.
yeah, I guess from that context because it says can share because groups don't share people in the group share.
Yeah. Cool. Questions on this side?
What do you think pre-made content is?
I think like sharing stuff. Like if you go to like a someone else's post and you just click share, that's kind of like a
Oh,
pre-made
okay.
content, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Or you share it from one platform to another.
Mm-hmm. And
That's
modify user-generated like share post and modified description and something.
yeah, like you can share a post and you could like put your own thoughts on it
Mm-hmm.
or give your opinion and that sort of stuff.
Okay,
All
cool.
right, let's go ahead and move on to the last reading.
Okay, so social media differs. How do you say differs?
Social media differs.
Differs.
Yeah.
Differs from paper-based media and traditional electronic media such as TV broad, broadcasting
TV broadcasting or radio
broadcasting
broadcasting.
or radio broadcasting in many ways. Some differences include quality, reach, frequency, interactivity, usability, immediacy, and performance.
Yep. Do you think
Makes
they
sense.
they nailed all the differences, or do you think there's other differences as well? Or if there's no other differences, maybe there's some similarities?
So, in terms of quality, reach, frequency, I'm not sure what they mean by frequency. Frequency of usage. Like you read the newspaper once, but then you go on social media multiple times a day.
Probably. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
back in the day, you'd only get a newspaper like once a day, once a week, or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And now you're getting posts all the time.
Yeah.
Interactivity with other people who are reading or interacted with the same content, usability, immediacy. I can't think of anything that's not included there. Like for the fact that you can use it from everywhere is included in the usability.
I mean, the general idea of both platforms are the same, where you're just trying to broadcast information, right? So that's pretty much the same. Um,
Well, the fact that nobody checks the information that's published.
that's a good one. Yeah. Nobody checks. Nobody fact checks.
Yeah.
That's very true, even though now we have access to Google.
Yeah, but still nobody fact checks.
Yeah.
um, yeah, and some similarities, I guess. They'll transmit information. They're used for the same purposes, but they are used differently.
Yeah.
I mean, they're used for transmit. They can be used for transmitting the same kind of information, but the interaction is different, and all the stuff they mentioned there.
Cool. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to the. I was wrong. This is the last reading.
Okay. Well, social media outlets operate in a dialogic transmission system. Many sources to many receivers. This is in contrast to traditional media, which operates under a monologic transmission model, one source to many receivers, such as a newspaper which is delivered to many subscribers, or a radio station which broadcasts the same programs to an entire city.
Yep.
And dialogic means relating to or in the form of dialogue, and monologic means relating to or in the form of a monologue. Monologue.
Monologue. Yeah.
Monologue. Okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of like what I
Yeah,
was trying to
makes sense.
hint towards, like
Mm-hmm.
how the information was transmitted. And you kind of said something about it, how it's different, right?
Yeah. Is that nobody checks it because everybody rates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, how do you think these like megaphones here kind of relate to social media?
Because you as a speaker speak through the megaphone and don't necessarily listen to what the audience speaks back to you. It's That's what I'm getting from the picture. It's like it's a monologic means of interaction because you're just transmitting a message as loud as possible to as many people as possible, but not getting feedback or
Yeah.
as much feedback. Not it's not a dialogue.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it could be if they put the speaker down and let other people talk.
Yeah.
Go ahead and try describing the rest of this picture. I
How
want
do
you
you
to try
call
to
them?
describe it in one complete sentence.
And how do you call the things that you use to
Those are megaphones.
megaphones? Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Um. Okay. Three megaphones are placed on the ground near some foldable chairs with um crowd of people visible in the background.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to switch my Wi-Fi to the hotspot because it's having issues. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So you said 3 megaphones are placed on the ground near some foldable chairs with a crowd of people visible in the background.
You're interrupting. It's not working well.
Mm, 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, is this any better? It says try
Yeah,
closing some
better.
applications, but I don't have that many
Mm-hmm.
applications open.
You have the Zoom might help. Okay.
Yeah, hold on. Let me fix this issue.
It, it is sorry. What?
Let me fix this issue. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. What do you have running in Google Chrome?
sorry, what was that? You said something about Google Chrome?
Yeah, I asked what do you have running in Google Chrome? Is it only the document?
Um, it was only the document, but I guess closing it is going to help.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely helped.
Okay.
Alright. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties.
Okay. No worries.
So over here, you said, alright, you said 3 megaphones are placed on the ground near some foldable chairs with a crowd of people visible in the background. Yeah, very good. I honestly wouldn't really make many recommendations or changes. I mean, you could have mentioned maybe the color of the megaphones, but
Okay.
like
Um.
three blue megaphones, I guess. But or
Yeah. Or the fact that there are two bigger megaphones and one smaller megaphone.
yeah, or you could
And
describe
that
how they're placed. You know, with the like open part down. Cool. Well,
and
good job
are
on.
placed downwards on the ground between near blah blah.
Yeah, maybe placed facing down.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Okay.
Alright, let's move on to the next slide. So now we have more discussion questions. So, how has social media impacted society over time?
Well, it's only impacted society in the recent years, in the last what 10 years. How long
Yeah.
has Facebook been around since 2004, was it? Not sure.
Um,
Like 15 years.
15 years.
Yeah, I was right, at least this time. Okay. So, it's only, well, there were some other things before Facebook, but not on a such large scale. So it has increased the connectivity between people who are living far from each other.
Yep.
For example, I can keep in touch with a friend who's living in the US, as I said, and it's like we're talking on the phone. It's very easy actually to get in touch. It's not as much as large a commitment as calling them.
Yeah, so it's a smaller commitment.
Yeah, it's a smaller commitment, so it makes interaction easier. But at the same time, it can actually hurt relationships because you're only relying on the interaction that's happening online, and you're not actually meeting them in person. And the online interaction is a bit different from the interaction you have in person because it's not the same level of personal connection.
What do you mean?
You
Like people act differently online, or
It's like because it's text based usually, and when you're speaking in text, you're a different person somehow. You may have less inhibitions, or um, you just don't care as much sometimes.
yeah, and
And
I
also,
think it's also
you're
you can communicate differently when it's through text, right?
yeah, that's why yeah,
Like you
and
can
you
all,
don't
like
you
in
don't have
text
to.
you can use like emojis and stuff. You can't use emojis in real life, right?
Yeah, and you can make breaks in text, and in real life you can just do nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Um, cool. So why do people use social media?
Mm, well, for one, because it's providing us with
It provides us
entertainment.
with provides
Entertainment.
us with entertainment.
Because you can read stuff you're interested in, and they actually feed you stuff you're interested in, so that they make sure you're not bored. And also, it provides us with instant gratification because you post something and people comment on it and they give you affirmations that you're good and stuff.
That's definitely true. Yeah.
Um, what else? It's like, why do people use social media? Because we feel lonely sometimes and we want to speak to someone, but we don't have the guts to ask them out, so we just text them
I
because
guess.
it's too much a commitment.
Yeah, that's very true. Very little commitment. Yeah. Entertainment, that sort of stuff, and you mentioned this earlier also, like you can connect with people like in
Yes.
faraway places.
Mm-hmm. You can also connect with people you don't know and make new acquaintances.
Yeah, connect with new people. Have you ever met someone through social media and then met them in real life?
Yes, a lot of people actually.
Like on
Because
social
I,
media first and then in real
yeah,
life?
hmm because I was living in California for a few months and I wanted to film some videos, and I posted something online about, filming something, or some person was looking for accommodation, and I replied, and that's how I met most of my friends there.
Interesting.
And then we met in real life.
What was it like the first time you met someone that you only knew from social media?
We're very different. You imagine them to be in some way. Actually, I think every time I met someone online first, it was a completely different image when I met them in person somehow. Because
Completely.
you just assume things that you don't, you just assume that information you don't own is in a certain way, and then you meet them and that piece of information is not like that. And there are a lot of pieces.
Interesting. So you have like a an impression of who they are before you meet them.
Yeah, because you're based on, or I was basing on people I already knew, and I was associating what they were doing or saying with stuff that other people I knew were doing or saying because I didn't know much about them, right? And so when I met them, I was like, yeah, this person is not like that. It's not in a better or worse way. It's just different.
Yeah. So you meet them and then you have a different impression. Do you think that's a good or bad thing?
Yeah, as I said, it's different. I mean, sometimes it's the shock of hearing their voice. You know what? How it's like when you read a book and there's a character and you imagine them in some way, and then you see them in the movie. They're not like that.
Yeah.
It's the same, and you get used to the image in the movie after some time, but it's just the initial reaction to them being different.
I like that analogy. That's very smart. It's like reading about a character and then seeing them in the movie.
Yeah, that's how I feel it is.
Yeah, no, I understand exactly. I'm trying to make an application to address that exact issue.
How?
I'll tell you at the end of the lesson. How about that?
Okay,
Just
sure.
remind me so I don't forget. Okay, next question. Who do you think benefits most from using social media? What kind of people?
The most or oh, the most. Okay. Um, I think it's the creators because they can grow their audience, and business owners because again they can grow their reach. They can increase their reach through either organic or ads, and get more customers, more coverage. I mean, not coverage, but
Exposure, maybe? More
they get more
exposure?
people. Yeah, exposure. More people know about them,
Yep.
and for personal, is LinkedIn a social media platform? I guess you can say it is,
Yeah,
but
I
it's,
would say it is, yeah.
and there you can benefit from creating an authority transmitting profile. Like when you apply for a job, people see your LinkedIn, you seem cool, so they get you on an interview, you get a job, you benefit from it.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. What about who benefits the least from like using social media?
The consumers, the ones whose time is wasted by scrolling through the feed, and we also get emotionally attached sometimes to the reinforcements we receive from the other people on the social media platform we're using, and that's not beneficial because we keep checking it and it creates anxiety. And also it can I have a book on this, it can destroy people's attention span. It
Destroy
can
your attention span. Like how does it do that?
I haven't read that book yet, but
Oh,
what I've read is that it because you're moving from one post to the other and just trying to optimize the amount of time you spend per information, your brain is trained to move from one piece to the other, and then you're not training to focus on one specific thing for a long period of time, which is a skill you could use in, for example, computer programming or um, music when training hard in something.
yeah, makes sense. So it like yeah destroys your attention span. Makes you used to paying attention for much shorter periods of time.
Yeah,
Cool.
you're training your brain to do something else than what is useful for you.
Interesting. Maybe not useful, I guess, for social media, but for consuming content, right?
Yeah, consuming content.
Yes. All right. Cool. So Go ahead and read this next question.
Why are there so many different social media platforms? That's a good question. Each platform addresses a specific problem and a specific audience. So for example, the difference between Facebook and Instagram is that on Instagram you can just look at pictures and it's even less commitment because I mean it's more interesting to look at pictures than to look at pictures and text, I guess.
Yeah.
And all in a specific format, so it's easier to scroll through. I guess that was the point of it. So yeah, they're different. They have different use cases and they have different audience. Usually, the audience on Instagram is, I think, generally younger. I wouldn't vouch for that, but I think so.
Yeah. They can be different based on the platform.
Yeah.
Like I know a lot more younger people use Snapchat in America, at least.
Yes, Snapchat too.
I used it a little bit, but after Instagram started having stories on their on Instagram, I stopped using Snapchat completely. It was pointless.
Yeah, I only used it for like a few days
Yeah.
because I didn't see the point of it. That's the thing, that if you have a community around you who uses it, then you're gonna use it because you want to be in that community. But if nobody you know uses it, then it's no point in using it. So I guess Facebook is popular among older people because, or older people too, because they created an account, their friends are there. There's no point for them to go on Instagram because they don't. I mean, some of them do, but generally their friends are not there
Mhm.
and they don't see the point of it. And for us, it's like everybody's there.
What about something like LinkedIn? Don't you think older people go there?
Yeah, they do. I'm not saying they only go on Facebook. I'm just trying to compare Facebook and Instagram in this specific situation. But yeah, they use LinkedIn too because they need it for jobs.
Mhm.
It's also different use cases, as I said, because for example, I created LinkedIn just because I needed it to apply for a job initially.
Yeah. But it's good to have, you know?
Yeah, it's good to have uh, because people find you there.
Cool.
Again, you have authority.
Okay, so go ahead and read that next question.
How might people use social media differently in different countries? Well, I think this also depends on what I said earlier. I'm not completely sure because when when there's a service that becomes widely used, then everybody wants to be there. If you have a lot of users, then the people who are not there will get somehow converted to the service eventually. That's what happened with Facebook here. And the other services will just be for hipsters in that country or something, or for different smaller groups.
Yeah.
But many people join in groups. They convince one another to join.
Yeah, it makes sense because there's that like effect, like that social media effect, right?
Of people joining in crowds or what?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like the reason people use social media is because there's people there. If there wasn't, then
Yeah.
they wouldn't use it.
Yeah.
But like, does every country use Facebook? I know, for example, China doesn't.
Yeah, because the government forbade it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they use WeChat.
Yeah, they use WeChat and other social media platforms.
hmm I guess they get popular because initially some people use it and it gets cool, and then it spreads like a virus, and then everybody wants to be there because it looks cool.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And if there's a country that was initially taken over by a specific app, then people will have a hard time switching, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. But like, I can tell you from experience that people in America don't use WhatsApp. They just use text or Facebook or Instagram,
Okay.
I guess. But nobody in America uses WhatsApp, so I guess, like you said, like it's just not popular there.
Yeah.
Cool. Questions on this side?
No.
Alright then, so let's make some sentences using these words.
Okay. First word is facilitate. Um, I need a friend to facilitate entrance to this VIP event.
I need a
Well,
friend to what?
I would need to. Oh, let's rephrase it.
Okay, start from the beginning.
Yeah. Um, I could really use a friend to facilitate entrance to this VIP event.
To
Or who
facilitate
can?
entrance?
Yeah, entrance to this VIP event. Like have a person to get you in.
I don't think facilitate is best used in that case. Let me pull up the definition.
It means make it easier, right?
Yeah, the definition was earlier, but to make it easy or easier. To make an
Yeah.
action or process easier. So maybe instead of entrance, you can really use a friend to facilitate maybe getting a ticket,
Okay.
gaining entrance.
Because it has to be an action.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what would you replace it with?
Getting a ticket, yeah. Because gaining entrance sounds weird.
I could really use a friend to facilitate getting a ticket to this VIP event. There you go.
Is it getting a ticket 2 or 4? I'm not sure.
For this.
Okay.
4, 2. I think either one would have been fine in this case. To
Oh.
facilitate getting a ticket for this VIP event, yeah. Next one is transmission.
The means of transmission for this virus is through air. Of this virus, okay.
The means of transmission of this virus is through air.
Is it correct?
The means of transmission. Yeah, it's correct. It's just, I would try to describe it a little differently. The if I want to change it, I would just completely change the sentence, so never mind. I think it's good. Go ahead
Okay.
and go with the next one. Community.
There's this tendency in my community for everyone to go to university.
There's this tendency in my community. What'd you say next after that? There's this tendency in my community.
For everyone to go to university.
City. There's this tendency in my community for everyone to go to you mean like attend university?
Yeah, attend. Okay, to attend university then.
To attend university. Because if you say go to, it just means that there's like they could just go once.
Yeah, just walk there.
Yeah. Or they just go there,
Okay.
but they don't actually attend. They just walk in front or something.
Okay.
But instead of saying there's this tendency, I would say there's a tendency in my community.
Okay, like a instead of this.
Yes, instead of
Okay.
this. Okay. Traditional.
Mm, traditional people and well, wait. People in more traditional societies are not yet used to Instagram.
Are not yet used to Instagram. Good.
Yeah, we still. I'm not sure if that's accurate, but yeah, it's a sentence. Virtual.
Oh,
We might soon.
yeah,
Sorry.
never mind. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, we might soon make virtual reality games ubiquitous.
Ooh.
Who knows?
More ubiquitous, maybe?
Yeah, more ubiquitous because ubiquitous means everywhere, right? Can you say more ubiquitous?
Yeah, you can. We
I
might
thought
make
like
we might soon make virtual reality games ubiquitous.
because I thought ubiquitous is
Yeah, you can you
like
can
an
you can make it if you put more, then you can make it EB like it gets even more popular. It's like saying we might soon make virtual reality games popular, or you can say even more popular, right? More popular.
yes. Okay. I thought ubiquitous is like the highest degree of popularity. It's like everywhere already. You can be more everywhere.
Um, I don't know if it's like the highest one. Maybe something like omnipresent.
Okay.
I think ubiquitous also fits. It's not a word I frequently use.
hmm
Cool.
I was referring like to the fact that we don't. Most people don't have a virtual reality. They don't have the means of playing a virtual reality game from their homes. Most people.
Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying now. Yeah, so if you're gonna make it ubiquitous, then everyone's gonna have access to it.
Yeah.
Cool. Alright, so I also have a video with a few questions on the video. It's like a few minutes long. Do you want to watch this video or do you want to talk about what we said we were going to talk about at the end of the lesson, which was the idea that I had?
Yeah. The idea. Let's talk about the idea. Idea.
Alright, so it was really interesting that you were saying certain things. Where was it? There was something that you said specifically. Oh yeah, completely different image, right? So
Yeah.
you meet with someone, you connect with them online, and then you meet with them in person, and they're like a totally different person, right?
Yeah.
But when you meet with someone online, you initially initiate contact. First, you see like pictures of them probably, and then you message each other through text, right?
Yeah.
So you text someone initially when you connect with someone new. But what if instead of texting initially, you send voice messages, you know?
Have I heard this idea before? Because it sounds so familiar.
I might have told you,
Maybe
or you might have seen it, because what I'm trying to make is a dating app.
I think I've heard about it. I'm not sure. I mean,
I
it
post
sounds
to
so
everyone on
familiar.
social media about this thing, so you might have seen it.
Mhm. So you send a voice message introducing yourself. Is it the same voice message for everybody? Is like a recording that you send people to people?
No, so you have like a voice message on your profile. Look, I made a landing page for it.
Mating call. Okay, this sounds okay.
Anyway, so it's like Tinder. It pretty much same idea. You connect with people, then you message them, right? And you
hmm
have I should have put a picture here, but anyway, It's really bad quality, but this picture here shows the profile, and there's a button there. And you just push the button, and you can hear the message that they left on their profile. And there's no text, other than their age and where they're from, and their name.
Okay.
But there's no text, like you can't text each other. This is the message thread, and it's just voice messages.
Interesting.
Yep.
It's more interesting than Tinder because you get to to hear the nuances.
Yeah, you get to hear the nuances, and most importantly, you connect with people in a different way. Because you know how they say first impressions matter?
Yeah.
Well, this is like making a different kind of first impression. And if you do it through voice, you can control it more than you can with text because there's more information that's transmitted.
How can you check for inappropriate content?
I don't know.
You just have
Does
words
does
or
Tinder do
something.
that? Let's
Yeah.
be honest.
I don't know.
Well, it doesn't.
Didn't?
Well, you can't send pictures. You can send GIFs and stuff like that, but you can't send pictures that you take. Other dating apps let you do that, but not Tinder.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's my idea. And I got the idea because I noticed the difference between when people connect through text and then when they see each other in real life and it's like a completely different image because you can message differently, you can like joke differently. There's like, you can say things like LOL or BRB, which people don't say in real life. I mean, people do say OMG sometimes, I guess.
Will you be able to send normal text messages though?
Nope, just voice.
But then it's weird if you're living with someone else in the house and you want to send a kinky message. I'm not saying I would. I'm just saying theoretically.
Well, then
Then it
that
would be
would make
awkward.
that would make those kinky messages much more valuable, right? If you get one through that app, that means they really isolated themselves in order to send that to you. So it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And here's the thing though, I think because everyone is getting those wireless headphones and wireless like AirPods and stuff like that, people are connected to audio like all the time now. So they're going to be able to listen and speak pretty easily like on the go when they're walking around town or whatever.
That's true. I'm
Especially
just thinking about what can be private and what they would be reluctant for everybody else to hear. But at the same time, you're maybe increasing the trust because I mean maybe it will be a higher commitment app for dating.
yeah, maybe it will and that will make it a little more unique. See, I also
Mhm.
see people that drive a lot using it because um they can talk when they drive, but they can't text. So maybe a lot of people who drive would be using it, and they're pretty isolated in their car usually, so they can say whatever. What
Right.
What's your opinion on that idea?
As I said, I think it would build more trust than normal dating apps, which is good. Also, you can probably at least a little bit know a person from their tone of voice because you can tell if they're a bit uncertain, insecure, or if they're very sure of themselves in opposition. In on the contrary,
Yeah, makes sense.
you can tell if they're very cocky and you don't want to meet them ever.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. I don't know if that happens, but maybe. Uh,
and it saves
as I
time, right?
said, people might be concerned about privacy, and some people might not use it. Some people that have been using Tinder for a while might not be comfortable using this one, but at the same time, maybe you don't care because you have a different audience.
Yeah, exactly.
People who care about each other more.
Would you use it?
I would use it with a higher. Yeah, I would try to use it at least. I've tried Tinder before. I got bored of it, but I tried it
What do you mean? Got bored?
because I didn't. I just wanted to know what it's like, and I didn't really want to date anyone. I just wanted to figure out how people were, and some of them are weird. So
Of course, like most of the people on there are weird, but that's because
Yeah.
they're weird to us because we don't have any mutual interests guaranteed. Something like Tinder, the only thing that's guaranteed is that you swiped yes on each other.
Yeah.
So when you don't have mutual interest, then this other person can be someone completely random, like someone outside of your social circle, completely outside. Someone you would never ever talk to in real life, never ever see them in real life because you don't have any mutual interests, you know?
Yeah, exactly. But your app is called Mating Call. So, given the name, I'm not sure it matches with what I just said about commitment because it would initially attract people who are, I don't know,
Do you have a
looking
better
for
name suggestion?
maybe something less sexual and more. I'm just saying this because I'm a woman, maybe.
It's a dating app,
But
okay? Tinder is kind of sexual too, isn't it?
I never thought about it. But yeah, it's more subtle.
It is a little more subtle. But there's nothing subtle about a mating call, right? It makes me think of those, like, I read like a comic or something, like a short comic strip, and it's like birds doing their mating calls, and like we think it sounds pretty because they're singing, but translated to what they're actually saying, it's like all sorts of dirty stuff.
Yeah, but I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just saying that when people see an app called Mating Call, it doesn't it doesn't give away trust in any way. Or
It doesn't kind of communicate trust.
yeah, it communicates something short term, low commitment. I think.
I mean, that's
I'm
what
not
it's modeled after Tinder, which is also short term and low commitment.
true.
But if you have other ideas, we are taking suggestions.
Sure. Do you have a team?
Somewhat, yes. We're
Okay,
working on it. I have a developer and a junior developer, and we're trying to get another guy or girl.
got it. Do you have a front end developer doing the front end work?
Um, we have like a designer slash front end developer, but right now just the back end is getting
So
worked
that
on.
you're gonna be releasing it on the 24th of September, so in less than 2 weeks.
Yep.
Good luck.
We're not gonna be releasing it. It's just gonna be the first MVP, essentially. Like, if it works. I doubt.
Okay.
I really doubt it's going to be functional, but I also put it up there to try to just kind of, just like set some goals.
Hmm.
Make it very
Are you
transparent.
the CEO of the project?
I am the co-founder. Yes.
Okay.
If you go on my Facebook, it says co-founder, CEO, or whatever of Mating Call.
Nice.
Yeah, it's gonna get big. It's gonna get
I
huge.
hope so. Maybe you should change the name.
Well, tell me if you
Just
have any suggestions. All right.
making fun. Yeah, yeah, sure. I'm just making fun. I'm sure I don't have all the details, and I'm just assuming that the tool it should be more it should be higher commitment because it's voice, and then it should be a name that's higher commitment. But yeah, anyway, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Well, yeah,
It's
I
just
told you.
a
If you have any better suggestions, let me know. I came up with the
okay.
idea because I was trying to think of like, how do we initiate contact through voice? How do animals initiate contact through voice in the animal
Hmm.
kingdom? Birds, they use mating calls, and animals, they use mating calls, right?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's
Yeah. I'll
that's
let you
it.
know if something comes up.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this project. I hope it goes well because I'm tired of Tinder. It's a waste of time.
I'll use it even if it's bad. I want to use it to see how it goes. But after you have a few users,
No, there's only gonna be 2 users. No, I'm just kidding.
it's gonna be weird. Okay. Um,
All right.
yeah, I
Well,
guess